Why, is she trouble? Well, if you know nothing, how do you know that?
I knew. Figured I would.
The only way to save this place. You gotta give it away.
Yellowstone folks, we are finally getting justice for our beloved Kayce Dutton. The most underrated Dutton sibling is finally getting a show of his own, or should I say, a chance to shine for once, without the concern of being overshadowed by his loud family members. Either way, our boy Kayce is returning to the screen with a killer TV series that will showcase his abilities as a marshal in the post-Yellowstone era, and we should talk about it. The new show is currently titled Why Marshals, but keep in mind that's a working title. And it could change. I mean, if you are familiar with the Yellowstone lore, you know very well that title changes are not a strange phenomenon here. So do not get very much attached to this particular one. I believe Y in the beginning stands for Yellowstone, and Marshall's part is pretty self-explanatory. So not the most creative title anyways. But let me know what you think about it. It's scheduled to premiere in spring 2026, airing on CBS, yep, not Paramount Plus like the other spin-offs. For the first time ever, we are moving to broadcast TV in Yellowstone. And honestly, I'm very excited about it. It'll be part of CBS's mid-season lineup, airing on Sundays at 9 p.m. And that shift alone says a lot about the direction of the show. First of all, there's a clear strategy behind this split. Yellowstone is one of the most valuable franchises under Paramount's belt. And by spreading out the content between CBS and Paramount Plus, they're making sure the universe reaches everyone. And honestly, good for them. Plus, if you watched even a single CBS show in the past, you know that we are in for an action-packed, fast-paced, perhaps less substantial, but definitely more fun show and personal. I'm here for it. But let me know what you think about it. Now, you might remember that the Yellowstone Season 5 finale, Kayce made a huge decision that changed everything as he gave up his stake in the Yellowstone Ranch. He transferred the ranch over to the reservation and chose to hold on to just a smaller piece of land for his wife and son. With this move, he officially took a clean break from the Dutton legacy and a chance for himself to finally live life on his own terms. So this new series is basically Kayce declaring his freedom from the obligations and responsibilities of being a Dutton and finding his own destiny at last. I mean, I doubt that this is a surprise for any of you guys. After all, for so long, Kayce has been torn between his loyalty to the Dutton name and his longing for a simpler, more peaceful life. And it looks like Why Marshals is going to explore exactly what happens when he chooses peace, or at least his version of it. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but to me, for most people, a marshal's life is far from being peaceful. As you can imagine, the new series will pick up after Yellowstone Season 5, and apparently, Kayce joins an elite unit of U.S. Marshals. According to the official synopsis, the show will blend Kayce's cowboy background with his military skills, showing him as part of a specialized law enforcement team. So basically, we will watch Kayce being a complete badass, which is so exciting. Honestly, feel free to disagree with me, but to me, this feels like the kind of storyline Kayce has always deserved. Don't forget, he's a former Navy SEAL, which is a storyline that the Yellowstone series introduced for sure, but for some unknown reason, often brushed aside. I mean, I always felt like this was unfair to Kayce as being a SEAL shaped him as a character. Thus, I'm glad we will finally see this badass side of him more. But let me know what you think about it. Another major reason why this spin-off will be so different than what we used to seeing is because of who's running the show. Spencer Hudnut, who is the executive producer and showrunner behind SEAL Team, is taking the lead. That's a huge deal because Hudnut knows how to balance action-packed storytelling with emotional depth, which is exactly the combo Kayce's character needs in my opinion. It seems like this procedural format is going to set Why Marshals apart from the more drama-heavy Yellowstone universe. So we should basically get ready for high-stakes missions, tight unit dynamics, and likely some emotional reckonings as Kayce adjusts to life outside the Dutton bubble. According to Deadline, Kayce and his teammates will have to balance family, duty, and the cost that comes with their jobs. And I think this is the perfect premise of the show in a single sentence. Now here's where things start to get very exciting. We already know there's a Beth and Rip spinoff coming, and another project called The Madison, which is also set in Montana. So I can't help but question, is it possible we'll see crossovers between these stories? The answer seems to be yes, at least creatively. Even though Why Marshals will air on CBS while the others stream on Paramount Plus, they're all under the same production umbrella and come from Taylor Sheridan and 101 Studios. Plus, a lot of us have been begging for more moments between Beth and Kayce, especially since their sibling bond was always complicated and a bit underdeveloped in the original series. So I think such a crossover would be an amazing opportunity to explore their unique dynamic more. That being said, we still don't know whether Monica and Tate will accompany Kayce in this new series or not. Monica has always been one of the most divisive characters in the franchise. Some fans will never forgive her for nearly cheating on Kayce. I get it. But we also can't deny that Kayce loves her and has always chosen her, again and again. And let's be real, by the end of Yellowstone, Monica seemed more tied to the legacy of the ranch than Kayce ever was. Personally, I think Monica has to be in this spin-off. Not just because she's Kayce's wife, but because of Tate, their son, and the literal future of the Dutton line. If Why Marshals is going to act as a spiritual sequel to Yellowstone Season 6, we need the next generation represented. And that can't happen without Monica. But let me know what you think. For more weekly updates on the Yellowstone universe, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.